Title: I refuse to go on our family vacation because my wife invited her ex-boyfriend and her ex-husband, who had treated me horribly in the past. It's just a trip, she said. Well then, start. I still remember the look on their faces. Pale, frozen, as if the ground had given way beneath them. 10 minutes earlier, they thought they'd cornered me, laughed at me, dismissed me, tried to strip me of my dignity. But I had already moved the final piece on the board, and when I did, they realized the vacation wasn't the only thing canceled. It started with a ticket, a vacation that wasn't supposed to sting. But then my wife dropped it on me like it was nothing. He's coming, she said, almost casually, her ex-boyfriend, and then her ex-husband too. Both men who had treated me like garbage in the past. Both men who had once been rivals for her affection. It's just a trip, she insisted, like I should swallow the humiliation quietly. Her mother sat there smirking. Well then, we'll just give your ticket to Mark, your wife's high school fling. And the room burst into laughter. Their laughter, not mine. That's when something inside me went still. I used to believe in her. I married her because I thought she was my anchor, loyal, steady, someone who'd stand against the storm. We built a home, shared dreams. I tolerated her mother's sharp tongue. I overlooked the subtle glances toward her past flames. I told myself it was insecurity whispering in my ear. But insecurity doesn't laugh at your expense in your own home. Insecurity doesn't invite old ghosts to dance on your grave while you're still breathing. I gave her trust. She handed me betrayal. The truth came in fragments. A text I wasn't supposed to see. A late-night whisper on the phone. That smug grin on her ex's face at a barbecue months back when he shook my hand too tightly and said, "Guess she still keeps me around." I should have confronted her then. Instead, I watched. I listened. I let her think I was blind. Because blindness gives you time. And time lets you sharpen your knives. I started with the finances. Quietly moved my accounts. Shifted assets. Pulled records. My lawyer knew every detail before she did. Then I dug deeper. I tracked her messages, her calls, her sudden girls' nights. I collected photos, screenshots, conversations dripping with disrespect. Enough proof to crush her in court, but also enough to crush her pride. I booked the tickets myself, paid with my card, set the pieces in place, and then I waited for them to overplay their hand. They did. When my wife, her mother, and their friends mocked me about giving my ticket away, I smiled. I stood up, walked to the counter, and with 3 clicks on my phone, every ticket disappeared. "Trips off," I said flatly. Confusion at first, then outrage. "You can't cancel everyone's tickets." "I paid for them," I said, "so yes, I can." They thought it was a tantrum. They thought I was lashing out in weakness. But I was already one step ahead. I pulled a second phone from my pocket, the one they didn't know about. Booked a one-way flight. Quiet, precise, to somewhere far from their laughter. Then I made the call. To my lawyer. Put him on speaker. "Proceed," I said, and his voice filled the room, steady and professional. "The divorce papers are filed. The assets are frozen. The house will be locked down in the morning. Any further attempt to interfere will result in legal consequences." Silence fell like a blade across their throats. Her mother's face drained first. Her smugness melted into panic. "What? What did you do?" Her friends shifted uncomfortably, suddenly realizing the show had turned. And my wife? My wife looked at me with eyes wide, like she was seeing me for the first time. You planned this?" I leaned in, calm, deliberate. "You invited your past into our present. You mocked me with it. Now your past is all you'll have left." She reached for me then, not with love, but desperation. "Wait, we can—" "No." My voice cut sharper than any blade. "You made your choice. I made mine." The news traveled fast. Friends who once laughed at me now whispered about her. The trip that never happened became the talk of their circle. She stood exposed, not as the clever one, not as the loyal wife, but as the fool who lost everything in one move. Her exes? They never even boarded a plane. They watched her unravel from a distance, probably laughing, but I didn't care. They weren't my problem anymore. She was, and she had no one left to lean on. I walked through the airport alone, carrying nothing but a bag and the weight of silence finally lifted from my chest. They thought I'd stay, endure, swallow humiliation because it's just a trip. But I don't play supporting roles in anyone else's circus. I walked away with my dignity, my freedom, and their stunned faces burned into memory. And as the plane lifted off the ground, I whispered to myself the only truth that mattered. They'll never laugh at me again.